Hey, house guests! Welcome to today's Big Brother 27 updates and spoilers. It's eviction day! Yeah! The second eviction of the season. I have to say, I'm very excited because I feel like this week has been years long. And I'm ready to move on. I'm tired of those same old discussions over and over and over again. I'm ready to move on. So, our house guests of the day, we have Al Joritz, we have Eli Tettelbach, we have two besties, Bailey Amos and Amira Coleman. Thank you all so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate you so much. So, thank you for watching with us this season and previous seasons. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, just send us an email at madrosed@gmail.com, put house guest of the day in the subject line, and just let us know your name so we can add you to the list. All right, so let's get into it because, like I said, it's eviction night. Cards on the table. I want to have a little downtime before tonight's episode. So when we left off yesterday, there were lots of discussions about the vote happening. Adrien, Amy, and Will are up on the block. One of them will win the blockbuster competition tonight and come off the block. Yes, only one. That means two people are still going to be up on the block. So why has only one of the nominees been campaigning this week? Tell me why. But for real, like, why? Do you guys not want to be here? Like, what's the deal? So Adrien, as we discussed yesterday, started making the rounds. He got some campaigning advice from both Ashley and Mickey because he was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to talk to people. You sweet summer child. I thought he was a super fan. So I don't know why he was so confused about how to campaign. I guess he was focused more on other aspects of the game, but they told him start by talking to the big players. The information will trickle down to the other house guests. And I thought that was pretty good advice. So his campaigning has been a bit rough around the edges. Oh, Lammy's here. Like when he told Mickey that he would put up Keanu, Rachel, and Morgan if he wins HOH. So saying you're going to put up Keanu is great because, like, almost the entire house is targeting Keanu. So sure, I mean, everybody's for that, right? But telling Mickey that you'd put up Rachel and Morgan, that's not going to go over well. Yeah, especially Morgan, because Mickey and Morgan are like this. So Mickey did give him some tips like, hey, maybe don't say that. She was also like, I'm going to need you to not target the two of them. Mickey basically revealed her core alliance to Adrien. She was like, all right, please don't put up me. Don't put up Ashley, Ava, Will, or Morgan. So that's that like core five that she's been trying to get together. And she also said, like, don't put up Rachel because we still need her around for a bit as like a shield and whatnot. Mickey, you're giving out a lot of information, but Adrien has been improving a bit in his campaigning. I also have to say he's made it a point to be like, I'm loyal, like people shouldn't be lying, like that's not how you play this game. But like that is how some people play this game, and there's nothing wrong with lying in Big Brother. Right? Do we make fun of it all the time and call it out? Absolutely. But it is valid gameplay, right? This is not like an honesty contest. So, yeah, that is kind of getting old. But he has been improving in his campaigning, focusing more on saying he's targeting Keanu. So people are definitely on board with that. On the other hand, Will and Amy haven't been doing much at all. Get it together. What the F is going on here? I don't know if it's just because, like, again, they don't know how important campaigning is or like how to go about it. Or if they're just like, I don't know, someone else would do it for me. Or like, if I'm meant to be here, I'll be here. So Rachel has been campaigning for Amy. And like, I mean, she's good at it, right? She can be pretty convincing sometimes. We saw her basically flip Morgan's viewpoint and lead her to want Amy to stay. But in a way, Rachel's campaigning for Amy kind of hurts her chances because all the Rachel haters in the house are going to use that as fuel. They're going to say, look, if we take Amy out of here, we're taking away a number from Rachel, right? I mean, look how much Rachel is campaigning for Amy to stay. more than Amy even is. So there's definitely some pros and cons there. But on an unrelated note, we have also seen the target on Ashley's back growing like crazy. Not just because she's a bad roommate, which she is, and that has been rubbing a lot of people the wrong way, but also because she is super observant and she does not know what to do with this information. She is so good at figuring things out and like observing and putting the pieces together, figuring out who's working together. But then she just goes and blabs it all over the place to the wrong people. She has been clocking groups of people, spending a lot of time together, and then spreading around that those groups are probably working together. And again, a lot of times she's correct. But okay, so like for example, she clocked Vince, Zach, and Morgan. She saw them talking for a long time at night, and she was like, all right, I think those three are working together. She's correct. But this information got back to Vince via Kelly. Of course it was via Kelly. Why does Ashley tell Kelly things? I don't know. But Vince and Zach are now pissed at Ashley. So Ashley could be in a bit of trouble next week if she wasn't already. So the feeds were down for a few hours yesterday. I don't know what was going on. It could have been them filming something for the new Friday show. It could have honestly just been house maintenance because when the feeds came back, it didn't seem like anything exciting happened. I even heard some of the house guests talking about how they got to nap for a bit. So it sounds like maybe they were in an HOH lockdown because they were doing stuff around the house, like production was doing stuff. And they just got to like hang out and nap in the HOH. No penalties for napping. Something like that. But it wasn't anything fun, it seems like. So then let's talk about the new stuff. Adrien was talking to the cameras yesterday, and he said, I'm going to win that Big Brother Blockbuster competition, and I'm going to take myself off the block. Actually, he even was like, I'm going to win the Blockbuster comp, and then I'm going to win the HOH with his sunglasses. It was very, very cool. And then he said, that's the only way forward. I got to do this. I got to win these competitions. He says, I am coming after these people with everything I got. Bunch of liars. He says if he wins HOH, he wants to put up Keanu, Jimmy, and Morgan. Oh, I guess now that he's not allowed to put up Rachel, Jimmy is filling that slot. Can you imagine those three on the block together? That would be a mess, an absolute mess. It'd be entertaining though. So Adrien then has a chat with Vince. And again, Adrien's like, I'm going to win this Blockbuster competition. I'm going to win HOH. And he's saying, I'm going to put up Keanu, Jimmy, and Morgan. So he says he would love to take out Morgan because she did tell him while he is not her first target, her number one target, he is on her list. She's looking out for him. So he doesn't feel great about that. He would love to take out Morgan, but he feels like he needs to get rid of Keanu first. Everybody wants Keanu out. So Vince tells Adrien, even if you don't win that Blockbuster competition, you should still be safe if you're up against Amy. He's not as confident if Adrien's up against Will, but he feels pretty good about Adrien staying against Amy. Adrien has some tea to spill for Vince during this conversation. He lets Vince know, hey, your name is being thrown around a lot. Not as a target, but as someone who's in a really good spot to win this whole game. So Vince is like, what? It's week 2. Like, what is this? Why is this happening? Is this coming from Ashley? Yeah. Adrien confirms it is. So remember when Ashley was giving Adrien that campaign advice? She did list Vince and Morgan and somebody else, like Mickey, I think. Vince, Mickey, Morgan. And then I think maybe Jimmy as people that have a lot of connections in the house. And she said Vince was, in her opinion, in the front. He was the front runner right now to win this whole thing because he's good with everybody. She did say that. And Vince is not happy about it. He says that's a stupid thing for her to say because even though she's framing it as a compliment, it's going to put a target on his back because now people are going to be like, oh, Vince, he's a threat to win this. He's got to go. So that's like another strike against Ashley. I would love to know what type of law Ashley practices and if she's like a trial lawyer or just doing like paperwork and all that, because what kind of stuff is she spilling in court? I don't know. But Adrien checks in with Catherine about the vote, and Catherine's like, I don't know what I'm doing. We know. She was telling Lauren the other day that she's voting Amy out no matter what. But I guess if it comes down to Adrien and Will, she doesn't know which way she would vote. So Adrien's asking Catherine, do you feel like anybody would put you up on the block? Like soon. On the down low, tons of people have been saying that they would put Catherine up, either as a target or even just as like a pawn, asses in the seats kind of situation. But like she's got a lot of people looking at her right now. So Catherine's like, yeah, I think there are a few people who would. And Adrien's like, well, I think if you do go up, there's a good chance you're going to go up with Riley. I mean, there is that chance, right? Because people are suspecting they may start showmancing at some point. Riley has made it very clear that he's into Catherine. Catherine has told everybody else that she's not into him, but they are kind of flirty sometimes, so it's hard to say what's really going on there. But Adrien tells her, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't put you guys up together. I don't want either of you to go. And he's telling Catherine, I could be good for your game. So later, Vince and Morgan discuss the different voting options. And at this point, Morgan is still campaigning for Amy to stay if she's up on the block against Adrien. She says, Amy is a shield for us, right? Everybody's going to be targeting her and putting her up on the block because she is so close to Rachel. So if Amy's going up, that's one less spot on the block for one of us. So she also says Rachel controls Amy. We're always going to know what she's up to. Also, like on the flip side, we're not going to have any idea what Adrien's up to. We don't know what he's doing. Well, Morgan might not, but Vince and Zach certainly will because they are very close to Adrien. They're in that bond alliance with him, and they're going to know that Adrien is targeting Morgan. But Morgan doesn't think also that Adrien or Will would even end up on the block again. People are not going to want to put them up, or she's really afraid that Adrien's going to be this amazing competitor and they're not going to be able to take him out at any point after this. I do remember Vince and Zach both predicting that Morgan would make this argument that Adrien and Will would not go up on the block again, whereas Amy is just like an easy pawn to put up in any situation. So she did what they said, but Vince brings up something else. He takes us away from the vote for a minute. He says, wow, I heard that Riley is now really wanting to play. He really wants to win this next HOH. Oh, does he? How nice for him. Vince says that Riley is pissed because Ashley told him to keep Catherine at arm's length because she doesn't like him as anything more than a friend. Ooh, there goes Ashley again. So Ashley told Riley, don't get it in your head that you're going to be in a showmance because she doesn't like you like that. She will just use you. So Vince says Riley really took deep offense to that. That's another strike against Ashley. So Vince brings up also how Ashley has been painting a target on his back. With the whole Vince is in the best position to win thing right now, and Vince again is saying it's only day 16. She shouldn't be saying things like this. And Morgan's trying to tell Vince, like, it's okay. There are much bigger targets in front of you. We've got Keanu, we've got Kelly, we've got Rachel. So people are not looking at you right now. I mean, yeah, not right this moment, but they will be eventually. But to bring it back to the votes, again, Morgan is really focused on how Amy and Rachel can be shields for them and take spots on the block so that they wouldn't go up. I don't think Vince is loving this. I think Vince very much still wants Amy to go. So later, Morgan, Will, Zach, and Ava are all chatting. And Morgan is like sitting on the arm of Zach's chair. And he's got like his arm around her. She's freaking loving this, I'm sure. Love triangle. So Morgan has suddenly changed her tune on the vote. Again, I feel like she's changed her mind so many times this week. Waffle Wednesday. But she's now saying if it's Amy versus Adrien on the block, she wants to keep Adrien. What? So she's saying, oh, we all know who we want out of this house. Not specifically this week, but just like in general. She's talking about Keanu. Everybody wants Keanu out. She says Adrien is much more likely to beat Keanu in competitions, right? They don't want to keep putting Keanu up and then having him win POV or blockbuster comps to keep himself safe, or even an HOH competition, right? So she says Adrien is way more likely to beat Keanu than Amy or Will. So Morgan says, I'm not easily swayed. I am very firm in my decisions. Are we sure about that? Because seriously, I've seen her change her mind about this vote so many times this week. But she said, I know we're all thinking about who is going to take a spot on the block. Right? Because again, her argument before was that Amy would always be an easy nominee to go up. And then she would go up instead of Morgan and co. But she's like, we need people who are going to fight for us, who are going to use the veto on us. And Adrien is more likely to win these competitions and be able to actually do something for our games. So Ava's like, you're preaching to the choir, sis. Like, let's get this done. I guess Adrien's campaigning is working. Imagine that. You campaign and you have a better chance to stay. I guess it also helps when your two fellow nominees are not really campaigning at all. Right? But in other news, we have a new Final Two deal. This is the one we've been waiting for. Rachel and Ava. So they were chatting in the have not room, and Rachel's like, I don't have anyone. And I want us to be Final Two, ride or die until the end, like no joke. And Ava's like, are you serious? Like, she's so excited. She's so pumped. And Rachel's like, if you're up for it. So before we can get like a solid answer from Ava, Jimmy comes in and interrupts the conversation. Jimmy, I wanted to hear the answer. So Ava pretends to like take Jimmy's nipple off of his chest and throw it away. She's one of a kind, right? But also, it looks like Rachel is ready to throw Amy in the garbage because Amy was her number one, but I think she's sensing, oh, I guess Amy's going to go. So she's trying to find a new number one, and she's finding that number one in Ava. Yay! So we didn't get 100% confirmation yes, but I think Ava's going to say yes. I don't know how loyal she will be to Rachel because she already has other stuff going on. But she also seems to really enjoy Rachel. So maybe they will work together for real. I don't know. So later, Vince checks in with Lauren while she's in the shower. And Vince reports that Kelly told him, anytime we hear Kelly told me blank, you need to step back and question the validity of this information, or like, why is Kelly telling me this? Because Kelly loves to spread things, some true, some not. But yeah, Vince says that Kelly told him that Amy wants to go home. I have seen her talk about this for like a few days now, on and off. Like, she's worried about losing her job because I guess she only had like a few weeks to be away, and then she would like actually lose that job, and she's been there for like over 20 years or something. So she's like freaking out about that. But also, of course, she misses her kids and all that. So yeah, she's been kind of up and down about whether she wants to be there or not, which is pretty annoying. I just hate when people come on this show and they take a spot from somebody else, and then they're like, you know what? I don't really want this. I want to go home. So yeah, Vince says Amy apparently is over it. She's ready to go, and he's hoping this means that she will throw the blockbuster competition. Can you imagine if she wins it by accident or something? Oh my God. But if she wants to quit, she can go, right? We don't have time for people that don't want to be there. So a few other quick things from last night. Oh my God, there's a few fun things in here. And then there's like a not fun thing from today. But okay, so last night, Ashley is in trouble again. Kelly told Jimmy that Ashley said if she wins HOH, she would want to put Jimmy up on the block. I don't get why Ashley is still talking to Kelly. Kelly is trying to rip Ashley's game apart, right? She is causing so much drama for her, but also why does Ashley keep opening her mouth to Kelly? So Jimmy was pissed, of course, when he heard this. He called Ashley a power flocker. Power flockers grab a life vest. Doesn't have the same ring to it. I guess it needs a little work. But he's basically trying to say Ashley will flock to whoever has power. I'm going to be real. I do not remember if Ashley actually told Kelly that she would put Jimmy up on the block. I wouldn't be surprised if it was true because, again, Ashley talks a lot and she doesn't always think about what she's saying before it comes out of her mouth. But Jimmy did approach Ashley later in the night and ask her about it. Of course, Ashley's like, no way. Like, there's no way I said that. She's denying it. I don't know. I don't know if she said it or not. But another quick thing from last night, the have-nots got to eat again at midnight. Woo! So the have-nots this week were the slop queens. That's what they're calling themselves. Rachel, Mickey, and Amy. I still can't believe Rachel did back-to-back weeks of slop like that. She's a baller. But these three ladies all dressed up for the meal. They were so excited. Jimmy and Morgan dressed up as butlers. Jimmy just really loves this butler character. It is kind of funny, I will say. And then he was calling Morgan Garcon. They were having a good time with it. And I just feel like Jimmy would be so funny as like the chief stew on Below Deck. I'm getting those vibes. But anyway, I guess he just likes to role play that. I don't think he would actually want to do all the cleaning stuff that a stew would have to do. But anyway, the slop queens finally get to eat at midnight. It is a joyous occasion. Everyone's so excited, right? They're like, slop queens, slop queens. So they're having a good time. And then Kelly walks in. Sleep mask up on the forehead, earplugs in hand. And Kelly's like, the screaming is disrespectful. You need to control it. The two people that have to compete tomorrow, they need to sleep. You're keeping them up, not just me. I'm fine. But the two people that need to compete, they need their rest. So keep having the food. I don't want to be a killjoy, but it's loud. Oh my God, she's turning into Kenny K from last season. So, okay, a few things about this. Number one, this happened at midnight. It's not like it was 3 a.m. and people are screaming throughout the house. Midnight in the Big Brother house is like 9 p.m. in the real world. It's not that late. It's kind of on you if you're going to bed that early. I'm just saying. But also, she keeps saying the two people that have to compete tomorrow. Amy is also on the block. And even if she wants to go home, she is still part of that. And also, like, this could be her last night. And she's been on slop all week. You're not going to let her, like, enjoy. It's wild to me. It rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And also, I'm so sure that Kelly was doing this for Will and Adrien so that they could get rest and not so she could get rest. Come on. It was just too much. Noise police never goes over well on Big Brother. So she is still Kelly's Kellying. But anyway, this morning, okay, this part is not so fun. This morning, Kat was in the bathroom at one of the sinks, just like getting ready or whatever. And Riley comes in, comes up behind her, hugs her from behind, and it was looking a bit like grabby. Ugh, not cool. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if she was okay with this. She didn't like push him off or anything, but like you also have to understand in this situation, you're not going to be as likely to push away unwelcomed advances as you would be in the real world because she's stuck in this house with him. There's the whole game aspect of everything. He has already told her, like, I want to go to the end with you. I will do everything I can for you to win. So she's kind of like stuck in this situation where she's like, all right, I don't want to piss this guy off because he's like playing for me. But Yeah, it's just a very uncomfortable situation. I mean, she might be into him, I don't know, but I'm not liking the vibes here. So then he also hugged her from the front and, like, felt up her butt. It just felt, like, not great. Again, it's hard to say if she was cool with this or not. I really hope the diary room is gonna, like, talk to her about it and just make sure, like, everything's good, because if not, they need to, like, take action and tell Riley, like, "That's not okay, you can't be doing that." It felt really gross, and I didn't like it. So, yeah, I don't know. Not a fan, not a fan. But anyway, I'm hoping again the diary room will take care of that. So, all right. Rachel, she was still trying to put in some last minute campaigning for Amy this morning. Does Amy even want to be there though? She was talking to Mickey, and Mickey at this point is on board with Morgan. She wants Adrien to stay so that he can go up against, he can try and take out Keanu. Um, so Rachel is telling Mickey, like, there are so many examples from previous seasons where the girls could totally be banding together, taking out some of these power player dudes, right? But then they're like, no, this guy is going to protect me. But then in the end, he doesn't, right? He chooses his bros over the girl. So she's trying to tell Mickey, like, we need to work together here. We need to save Amy and we need to take out Adrien. Does Amy even want to be there though? I do agree though, like these girls need to watch out because those bros, they're always gonna pick each other. So yeah, that's that. Julie did post a sneak peek tonight. Posted a sneak peek of tonight's blockbuster competition. So it is going to be a puzzle. It's a 12-piece puzzle, and it's on the floor, and it's going to be of this like fingerprint. So they just have to put that together, and whoever finishes it first is safe for this eviction. So it really could be anybody's game, right? Anybody could win this puzzle. I really like puzzles. So too bad Tucker's not there. But yeah, eviction tonight. I'm going to assume of the three that Amy is the most likely to go. I don't know where she stands at this point, if she's just going to like give up and like throw it and be like, I want to go, or if she's going to go for it. We'll see what happens. She could win the blockbuster. We don't know. In that case, I guess Will would go. It's really hard to say in the Will versus Adrien situation. I feel like that one is the least likely to happen. Watch it happens. But yeah, I don't know which way that one would go. But I'm thinking that Amy is the most likely to leave tonight. So that's where we're at. We're also going to have a new HOH tonight, which is very exciting. I would love to see somebody win and really like shake things up and not just put up the same people over and over again, unless those people are Kelly and Keanu, because I'd be fine with them going up. What am I saying? So yeah, it'll be interesting to see who wins HOH tonight. And also, is Mickey going to want to evoke her takeover power? That will be interesting too. But all right. I want to thank you all so much for being here. And I want to give a special thanks to tonight's super chatters. So we have Shane Wright. Thank you so much as always. And we have Sean Davis. Thank you so much. They both are so generous. So Sean Davis says, can we have a quintuple eviction? I know, right? Keanu for not washing his hands. Kelly for being annoying. Riley for being a waste of space, being creepy, smacking Catherine's butt this morning. Yeah, that was really gross and weird. Jimmy for being extra, and Amy for being fake. I'd like to keep Jimmy around because I'm still enjoying him, even though sometimes he feels too rehearsed. I like when he's off the cuff. I do enjoy that. Amy, yeah, I mean, I don't think she wants to be there anymore. So I'd be cool with like a 4-person eviction. Let's do that. But I agree. Thank you all again so much for being here. I hope you join us for tonight's episode recap. And until next time, much love. Bye, everybody. See you later.